Don't forget who I am. Don't forget what I am. I am a black dude. And don't ever forget how I got here. My ancestors were kidnapped. I don't even know where the fuck I'm from. They were put on the bottom of boats. They sailed them across the Atlantic. Many of them died. Only the strongest survived. And once they got here, they beat the humanity out of my people. They turned us into beasts of burdens. They made us do their work. And the irony is, hundreds of years later, they called us lazy. We fought in the Civil War. We damn near freed ourselves. Then in Reconstruction, black people did great. My great-grandfather was a very wealthy man. But then the black codes came, Jim Crow came. There was 100 years of unspeakable oppression again. Lynchings, all kinds of terroristic acts to keep us in the margins of society. And yet we still fought. And Dr. King was born. And then things got better. 20 years after Dr. King was assassinated, Michael Jackson was moonwalking on television. Something, 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 Barack Obama. And Donald Trump, and now here we all are. 400-year nightmare. Took us 400 years to figure out as a people that white people's weakness the whole time was kneeling during their national anthem. That's a brittle spirit. That's right, nigga. On the rock, it's regular. Ah! Ah! What are you doing, nigga? Stand up! The Vice President of the United States got involved. Mike Pence got involved. He went to the game himself. These niggers will have to stand when they see me. And all them football players looked up in the stands and saw Mike Pence and said, Mike Pence, come on, y'all. Wu-Tang. Bow! Oh! Foiled. Brittle spirit. I could kill every white person in America at one time. You know how I'd do it? I would just wait for the Super Bowl. And right when they sang the national anthem, I'd have O.J. Simpson walk to the 50-yard line with them bad knees. Yo, what the hell is he doing here? Oh, I know what he's gonna do. Stop him! I just want to help. I want to be a good guy. Like, I can't even say the word Me Too anymore. The nigga tonight was like, Dave, I'm going to the comedy club. I was like, I am also going to the comedy club. And I didn't even know it was happening, but I guess I became like a feminist in the last 3 weeks because I can't watch porn the same. Like, I watch it sometimes, but I can't click on these motherfucking thumbnails, not with those titles. Guy crams young girl in the ass with hard right. Oh, I can't click on that. Come on, nigga, give me something I can click on. Dude gets sucked off by a midget. Little person, I say to myself. Takes me hours to find one clip. What the hell is this? Marginally groomed feminist enjoys consensual sex with vaguely homosexual guy with penis the same color as mine. Click. There's a lot of black dudes haven't been getting Me Too. I don't want to jinx myself. You know why, though? Obviously, black women go through the same thing, right? The reason is because black women from slavery won't tell on us because they know that no matter how bad we black dudes are, white dudes are very mean. They're scared to see us get punished. My wife is Asian. She'd tell on me in a goddamn second. Ain't no fucking up in the Chappelle household. And the wildest shit about it is I live in Trump country. I live amongst the Tiki Torch whites, poor white people. And I'm rich. If it's ever pitchfork time, nigga, I'm in a lot of trouble. And nobody in my family believes me. I be trying to tell the kids, man, we gotta run these drills. They're like, we don't want to run your stupid drills. Too bad, son, you have to. Tiki Torch whites come upside, what are you guys supposed to do? Come on, Dad, what are you guys supposed to do? Squint our eyes and stand next to Mom. That's right. Me, your gun and your groundskeeper uniform. That's right. I'll go outside and see what they want. It is wild, bro. Where you from, man? Where you from?
New York.
You from, what, Manhattan?
Brooklyn.
You are from Brooklyn, aren't you? You look like you can rob somebody with a hammer. Brooklyn niggas rob you with shit they find around the house. I just got stabbed with a toothbrush. This nigga must be from Brooklyn. You gotta man the fuck up, y'all. I don't mean to be disrespectful, because man, I know you're upset what I said, but you know, I know you're right, but come on, baby, it's me. I was right once. Remember that? Does anybody remember when I was like missing from show business for 12 years? Remember when I had like this really popular show and I quit? I remember I walked away from $50 million. A lot harder than walking away from Louis' freckled dick. I didn't know that I'd ever work again. And yet here I am tonight. Did my dream die? No. I remember that shit. You don't remember that when I quit my show? Remember I went on the way out the door, I said, something's wrong in Hollywood. I believe they said I smoked crack. That's right, I remember. Remember they called me crazy. So really, you know, you're right, ladies. Congratulations. Enjoy it. And they're coming for you, bitches. They're coming for you. There's one person that's uncomfortable. You know who's the most uncomfortable motherfucker in the room? The nigga that's right. I was just walking around like Tom Cruise at the movies, just looking. And ruin the whole orgy by accident. It's easier to ruin an orgy than you think. All you gotta do is wait for it to get kind of quiet and then go, ew. I know I feel bad. But I just feel like this is all happening for a reason. And ladies, I want you to win this fight. 10 years ago, I might have been scared, but you know, I got a daughter now, so if you win, she wins. So I'm rooting for you. And I agree with you. At least ideologically, I do. I don't know if you're doing it just right, but I mean, who am I to say? I don't think you're wrong. I just think that you can't make a lasting peace this way. You got all the bad, but the minute they're not scared anymore, it will get worse than it was before. Fear does not make lasting peace. Ask black people. And that's what it is. What this city really needs, without irony, I'll say this, the cure for LA is in South Africa. You motherfuckers need truth and reconciliation with one another. Because the end of apartheid should have been a fucking bloodbath by any metric in human history, and it wasn't. And the only reason it wasn't is because Desmond Tutu and Mandela and all these guys figured out that if a system is corrupt, then the people who adhere to the system and are incentivized by that system are not criminals. They are victims. and that the system itself must be tried. But because the how systems work is so compartmentalized as far as information, the only way we can figure out what the system is if everybody says what they did. Tell them how you participated. Because men want to help, they're just scared. Because Ben Affleck tried to help. Hey, what happened to these ladies is disgusting. Oh, nigga, you grabbed a titty in 95. All right, fellas, I'm out. Fuck that, I ain't helping. I actually write jokes backwards. I will write a punchline with no particular setup in mind. I just put it on a scrap of paper, and I'll throw that scrap of paper in my fishbowl. I have a fishbowl in my house filled with random punchlines. And every once in a while, I'll shake the bowl, and I'll dig in there and just pull one out and see if I can make that shit work. And I picked one for this special. It's not an easy punchline to pull off. Are you ready? Yeah. Here it goes. The punchline is, so I kicked her in the pussy. I haven't finished the joke yet. I just know whatever happens in the beginning of the joke, at the end of the joke, for some reason, I'm gonna kick somebody in the pussy. And it's going to be hilarious. When I was growing up, I was probably about 8 years old, and at the time, we were living in Silver Spring. My parents did just well enough so that I could grow up poor around white people. And to be honest, when Nas and them talk about the projects, nigga, I used to get jealous because it sounded fun. Everybody in the projects was poor, and that's fair. But if you were poor in Silver Spring, nigga, it felt like it was only happening to you. Nas does not know the pain of that first sleepover at a white friend's house. And you come back home on Sunday and just look at your parents like, y'all need to step your game up. Everything at Timmy's house works. Timmy was one of my first white friends, like, in my life, man. And one day I was at his house, we were just hanging out, and Timmy says, Dave, why don't you stay for dinner tonight? I said, oh, man, I'd love to, but I can't. If I'm not home before dark, my mother will kill me. That was a lie. My mother had several jobs. I hadn't seen her in like 3 or 4 days. And the only reason I lied to Timmy was because at that point in my life, it was my experience that white dinner wasn't delicious. I'd rather go home and fry some bologna or some shit like that. But then old Timmy threw me a curveball I wasn't expecting. He said, well, it's too bad you can't stay, Dave, because Mom made stovetop stuffing. I said, what the fuck, stovetop? Well, hold on, nigga, let me make some phone calls real quick. I had seen that commercial so many times, I had dreamt of getting my hands on some of that stovetop stuffing. And finally, I met a motherfucker that actually had a box of stovetop in the house. I couldn't miss this opportunity, so I pretended to call my mother. And then I came back and I said, Timmy, you're not gonna believe this, great news. Mom said I can stay. And he said, fantastic. He said, why don't you come with me and we'll help set the table and then we can say the blessing. I had no interest in setting this motherfucker's table or saying these crazy ass Mormon prayers. I just wanted that goddamn stuffing. So I told Timmy, I said, you know what, I'd love to help, but let me go wash my hands first. My plan was simple. Wash my hands slowly, and by the time I'm done, the table will be set, the blessing will be said, and all that there will be left to do is eat. Went to the bathroom. I washed my hands very slowly. I must have been in there for about 10 minutes. And suddenly, one of his mothers came to the door. She was like, hi, David, right? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, Timmy tells me that you're planning on staying for dinner. I said, I hope that's not a problem, ma'am. She says, no, it's no problem. In fact, we'd love to have you. It's just that we weren't expecting company. And I'm afraid there's not enough stovetop stuffing for everybody. So I kicked her in the pussy. Bam! Ladies and gentlemen.
This is where you guys should applaud and go crazy. I'll wait. Dave, I see why you wear these. They are so comfortable. Look at this room, y'all. Look at this room. Look at the people we got here at this party. Yes. Comedians, actors, and musicians are all here for one man. We're all here because Dave brings people together in a way that maybe no one else in the world can. I met Dave over 20 years ago, and we've been friends ever since. Dave, you have always been my mentor, my big brother, and every time I step on stage, every time, I think of you because I've always want to make you proud because you the GOAT. You know, you're the greatest. What I love about Dave is his spontaneity. My favorite story with Dave was on Christmas, one year after I finished feeding the homeless at the Laugh Factory. I do that every year because I never forget where I came from. Not the Laugh Factory, homeless. Dave called me to meet him for drinks. And when I arrived, I see him there with Marlon Wayans, and I was like, what are y'all fathers doing here on Christmas? Shouldn't y'all be with y'all kids? And Dave said, who are you, Scrooge? Bitch, have a drink. So we laughed and joked till about 1 a.m. And Dave was like, y'all wanna go bowling? And we were like, ain't no bowling alley open on Christmas this late. Like, what you talking about? And he started laughing. He said, do you realize I'm Dave Chappelle? He made a phone call, and then we jumped in his SUV, and then we started going up this hill, and then we pulled up to these huge gates. I mean, huge. I was like, are we finna be bowling at Jurassic Park? We get out the car, go to the door, and guess who opened the door? Guess who opened it? I said gas, bitch, gas. Eddie Murphy opened the door. We was at Eddie Murphy house. We was at Eddie Murphy house. And I was like, and Dave was like, calm down, calm your ass down before we get kicked out. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Axel Foley got a bowling alley. Man, we must have talked and laughed and shared stories for hours. And that's the kind of guy Dave is, just spontaneous. And he's magical, and he's a horrible bowler.
You know how I know I'm getting old? This is embarrassing, but I was in my hotel room. I'm not gonna lie, I was jerking off, like. And I was like really sweating it out. And this is when I knew I was old. I just gave up in the middle, like nothing even happened. I don't like looking at my dick anymore. My dick looks distinguished. It's old, an old looking dick. It's got salt and pepper hair all around it. My dick looks like Morgan Freeman in the 90s. without the dots. My dick narrates. Dave pulled me out and started jerking me around and jerking me around. But not with the same vigor as when he was young. He and I both knew nothing was coming out. I see my age in my children. I came home from the road, this is not long ago. I've been gone for, if you can picture, I was gone for weeks and weeks. And when I came back, nobody was home. Now, one person in my family thought that maybe I'd like to see them when I got back. Like, they knew when I was coming back, but they just weren't home. And that shit was a wake-up call. You know, like when my kids were little, and the tour bus would pull up to the house, these motherfuckers would spill out. Dad is home, hooray! And they'd hug me and kiss me, and then as the years went on, they'd get less interested. Hey everybody, look, it's Mr. Promises back from the road. But an empty house, that's some cold shit. And I went into my oldest son's room. I was like, hello, hello. He was gone. And I'd never done this to him before, but for some reason I just did it. I just looked through his shit. Just to see who this motherfucker was becoming. And I found these notebooks and I started going through the notebooks and it was all this wonderful poetry in them. Written as his handwriting. I didn't even know this nigga wrote poems. And then I looked through his drawers and I opened up his middle drawer and I found this rolling paper. And I looked down at them papers like, oh, that's where that poetry's coming from. And that shit broke my heart. I mean, I smoked weed, but I mourned my son's innocence. And I cried a little bit. And I took his papers upstairs to my room. Rolled some weed that I'd hid from the family. And I got really high. And then I got paranoid, so I put his papers back how I found them. So he wouldn't know what I was up to. This nigga won't even know that that happened until he sees the special. Yeah, nigga, I found your papers. He's a cold motherfucker. Let me tell you, this kid is only 16 years old. Listen to what he did to me. This motherfucker calls me up in the middle of the night. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. He goes, Dad, don't be mad. I knew something was terribly wrong. I said, what's going on? He said, listen, I'm fine. And don't forget, you told me to do this. I'm at a party, and my designated driver had too much to drink. And me and my friends need you to come pick us up. I said, Jesus Christ, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, nigga. I am shit-faced. But I figured, fuck, it's better me than some kid. I might as well roll the dice and go pick my nigga up. I said, all right, I'm coming to get you. Just give me the address and I'll be right there. And then he gave me the address and I was shocked. I said, son, you are not gonna believe this, but I'm at the same party, nigga.
Survivors of the pandemic. This is your Captain Dave speaking. Please welcome Erica Badu.
occasionally, we're privileged to examine the craft of one of the acknowledged leaders of a generation. Tonight, as we reach the midway point of our 12th year, is such a night. Our guest has made us look at ourselves and laugh at ourselves in an array of films from Robin Hood Men in Tights to Getting In, The Nutty Professor, Con Air, Half-Baked, You've Got Mail, Blue Streak, and Undercover Brother. In television, he has brought his unique, hilarious perspective to Def Comedy Jam, Comic Relief, frequent guest appearances wherever comedy counts, and in his live concert performances, Killing Them Softly, For What It's Worth, and Dave Chappelle's Block Party. The groundbreaking show that bears his name has been honored with Emmy and Image Award nominations and broken every record for DVD sales of a television show. The Actors Studio is very proud to welcome Dave Chappelle.
Everybody's waiting to see how crazy I am. Huh?
For 11 and a half years, my job on this stage has been to trace for our students the journey that has resulted in the artist in that chair at this moment. It begins always logically at the beginning.
I'm sorry for
What you didn't know is that I'm really funny. He appreciates me. Sometimes you don't. He does. Oh. Where were you born, Dave?
Washington, D.C.
What's your father's name?
William David Chappelle.
And your mother's?
Yvonne Reed Chappelle.
What were they doing in Washington when you were born? How did you happen to be there?
I have no idea. I know sex was involved. And then somehow, no, I'm just kidding. What were my, you know, it's funny. My mom and my dad are very educated people. My dad was doing some corporate. I think he was doing statistics.
In the course of this series, we've constructed an honor roll of impressive mothers. My research has indicated to me that your mother belongs in that number.
She's gonna love this.
But I think she deserves that.
I do too.
What's her educational background?
She's got a master's in divinity, a PhD in African American studies, and something else about some sociology. She's got a stack of degrees in the house somewhere.
Didn't she have a career in the Congo when Patrice Lumumba?
Yes, she worked for Lumumba. He hired her himself, and she worked there during the Civil War. She was there when he was assassinated.
What did your mother do when she returned to the United States?
She opened the Belinga Center at the Central State University.
This was in Ohio.
Yeah, in Ohio.
My research indicates that she established what may have been the first PhD program in black studies in 1974.
Yeah.
She was a pioneer.
Yeah, she was, and in a lot of ways, I think she still is.
You may know or may not know, she taught Lingala.
That I didn't know.
It's a Congo language. She taught it at Central State University. Did she share any of her linguistic gifts with you?
I barely speak English.
Your father also had an academic career.
Yes.
Where did he teach?
Antioch College. It's in Yellow Springs, Ohio. It's a real, hippie town.
It's a hippie college.
It's the hippie college.
Yes, it is.
Antioch, if you'll remember, is the school that had the sex policy. Ask every step of the way. May I kiss your breast?
Did you have any siblings?
I have two. I have a brother and a sister.
Where'd you go to elementary school?
Woodland Elementary, Silver Spring, Maryland.
With an academic environment at home, how did you do in elementary school?
Very poorly.
Why?
I never liked school from the first day. I just walked in there and said, I hate this place. I hate its guts. I hated school. And I know it's not good to say to students, but the way my mom introduced me to school was kind of traumatic, because she didn't tell me I was going. she's packing a lunchbox and all this stuff was happening, and I thought we was going for a walk. And then we walked into school, and she was like, I'm bouncing. And I was just in there. And I cried, man, I cried. And these kids were just so mean and evil. I don't know if people remember their first day of kindergarten, but it was like, I felt like all these kids had met each other before, and I was the only one that didn't know anybody. And I got in a fight. This kid, I still remember his name, Paul. We were coloring it. He was coloring corn green. That really bugged me. And I told him that corn was yellow, and he started hitting me, and I was like, this is the coldest shit that's ever happened to me in my life. It was just like instantly life had changed.
So color was already an issue.
Color was an issue. You guys very good?
Did television play a role in your life when you were a kid?
I watched an incredible amount of television. Before I could tell time from a clock, I would tell it from a television. That I could turn on the TV and say, oh, this is on, it's 7:30. I watched so much TV, man. I was always like a escapist.
Yeah.
You know, I was the odd kid out. Like, I didn't tell you this about my first day in kindergarten. I peed in the nap time. I peed, which instantly set me apart from everybody. Like, you can't do that.
Right.
But we were having juice. It got so good to me, and then I wasn't. And my older brother was like freakishly good-looking dude, you know. Me, I mean, I'm all right. But, you know, everyone in my family was light-complected, except for me. And I'm telling you, from a young age, I noticed people were treating me different. But I didn't understand why they would treat me different.
Yeah.
And I do believe to this day that that has something to do with it. Excuse me.
One of the things you're not allowed to do on this show is to fake tears.
All right, I'm sorry.
This is inside the actor's studio. We don't fake tears here. It's still fake. What middle school did you go to, Dave?
Arthur E. Morgan Middle School, which no longer exists. And that's in Yellow Springs. It was, I guess, right after my last year in elementary school. My mom moved us, like before we lived right on the outskirts of Washington, on the dividing line.
Yeah.
Then Mom moved us in the Northwest. We moved to D.C., man, and it was like the neighborhood was wild, and I was just at that age where I would want to start running the streets,
right,
so to speak. So my mom sent my brother and I to live with my father in Yellow Springs.
I see.
4,500 people. Maybe now there's like 3,700 people in that town. So.
And all of them slightly different from the rest of the United States.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's a hippie town. My dad at the time was involved in some like human rights group that was dedicated to ending racism. But it's a small town, so racism is a relative term. Hating black people would mean I hate like 25 people in the town. You know what I mean?
How old were you when your parents separated?
My parents split up when I was 2. And I don't remember them married.
What high school did you attend in Washington?
Duke Ellington School of the Arts. Well, first I went to Eastern High School for half of a school year. I transferred to Duke Ellington. See, this is the thing. When I came back from Ohio, like I left when I was like 10, almost 11. I came back when I was 13, going on 14. While I was gone, crack had come out. So I got like a before and after. It was like a crack bomb had gone off. Like DC during the crack epidemic was probably one of the worst cities in America. Definitely was the murder capital. My freshman year of high school, 560 kids my age murdered. It's heavy, man, you know. Everybody I knew sold crack. Only God knows how many people were smoking crack. And that made a real big impression on me. That and the fact that D.C. is a very segregated city, especially at that time. Statistically speaking, to this day, statistically speaking, there's not one poor white person in Washington. There's a lot of poor black people in Washington. So these are the things that I'm seeing, and I didn't like that shit, man. I didn't like going to Eastern. So I was going through a real tough time, man, like just readjusting. And my mom bought me this Time magazine with Bill Cosby on the cover, Cosby Inc. Me and the guy had a lot of stuff in common, like some of the quotes he would say. And I just remember, like, after reading that stuff, I put it down, and it was like, I'm gonna be a comedian. And man, I'm telling you, I could see it so clearly. So clearly, man. This is it. I was so excited, I told my family, I have an announcement to make, I'm gonna be a comedian. You know, it was like real. Because I was always funny. I'm the youngest kid. You know, the youngest kid in the family usually plays that role of the tension breaker.
Right.
I was that dude. And that's when my mom suggested that maybe I go to a comedy club and check it out. Live comedy is the most incredible thing in the world to me. Like the first time you see a dude just standing there talking, and every joke he's saying just hitting, it was working. Every weekend I would go, I'd get a little money, and to the point they started knowing me, I'd just sit in the crowd and I'd just be watching. And then on Tuesdays they had an open mic, and I go on Tuesday to see why people weren't working. Weekends were to see why people were working. Tuesday I was figuring out what's wrong with these people. To watch a comedian bomb is one of the greatest things in the world. I love it. And then at that point, I was talking to a comedian after one of the shows, and the owner of the comedy club, and they were both saying, you know, if you want to be a good comedian, you got to take acting classes. And they didn't explain it. But after that, I went home and I said, Mom, I got to take acting classes. And that's how the Duke Ellington thing started.
That's a school of the arts, right?
Yeah.
And what did you study there?
Theater. The school is incredible. Classical acting, modern acting, improvisation, technical theater, script analysis, script writing.
Did you work while you were in school in Washington?
Yeah, okay. Let's run down the list. My first job, summer, between 87 and 88 school year.
This is a tradition. The first person in the 11 and a half years of this series who ever smoked on stage was Sean Penn, and the students applauded him then. Tonight, you light up a cigarette, the students say, what do you got about cigarettes? You like cigarettes? They applaud when you smoke.
I don't know about y'all, but this shit is stressing me out. I feel like I'm confessing and stuff. Does everything feel like I'm on trial in this? Tell me about that, Dave. I mean, you know, I don't know. I was a child and it's all so wild, Mr. Lipton. All right, so, the first job, and remember, this is when people were making a lot of money selling drugs. $3.50 an hour. August, I had to dress up in a cookie costume. Not bullshitting, a cookie costume with chocolate chips and a big chocolate chip on my head, sweating. And I had to hand out flyers for this place called the Cookie Bag. When I started at Duke Ellington, it was like you go to school from 8 o'clock in the morning till at least 5 o'clock at night. So work stopped for a while. And then, you know, that nightclub thing kicked in.
Was your early comedy autobiographical?
Still don't talk about myself.
It isn't.
It's yes, but never directly. I don't want to give away my secret recipe. But originally my plan was I'll go to school, and then after I graduate, I'll start stand-up. But then I was like, I'm going to the club after school. It's Tuesday, so I'm going to go to that open mic night. I had been practicing with the candlestick in the mirror. I felt like I was ready. And I told my family I was going. Told my mom, you know, I'm going. I don't want you to come. I want to go by myself. It's something I got to do and whatever, whatever. So, of course, she shows up with my grandmother and my brother. The MC introduced me. I can remember the introduction. You know, folks, everybody's got to start sometime, and tonight is this young man's first time on stage. Who knows? Exactly what it says. Who knows? You may be witnessing the birth of a star. Please welcome Dave Chappelle. And I went up there, man, and I was scared. And I used to look at my feet when I started. And I said the first joke, looking down at my feet, and they laughed. And then I looked up like, holy. And then I looked back down at my feet and said, no. And after the set, you know, the crowd was going crazy. I think I did 2.5 minutes, but they were going crazy. I was 14, probably looked like I was 11. Jesus. I was telling jokes about Jesse Jackson running for president, and Alf spaceship landing in a black neighborhood. Because before I got on, I was scared, and I told my grandmother, like, you might hear me say some things that you might not want to hear your grandson say. And she said, just relax and do that shit. I said, whoa, I never heard it come. So it went great. And then here's the kicker. So then I go to school the next day, you know, feeling like $1 million. And I go and I'm telling all the kids at school, guess what I did last night? Comedy club. Ripped, the crowd was going crazy, you know. And you know what they said? Cool. And it was the beginning of a dual life. By day, I was Clark Kent. And at night, I was Superman. You know, pretty girl in school might look at me and be like, oh, Dave, he's so funny, but I wouldn't date him. But at night, I'd date women your mother's age if I wanted.
Did you move to New York to do some stuff?
Yeah. I said, I'm going to go to that Apollo and rip that mug. I went for the regular Wednesday amateur night. When I say I got booed off stage,
God.
I still remember that boo. I'd never been booed off stage before, but I just remember looking out and seeing like everybody booing, everybody. Even old people. I was like, who boos a child pursuing his dreams? Like, this is the meanest crowd in the world. And that siren went off, and that dude comes out tap dancing.
Sandman.
Sandman. I wanted to choke the shit out. I hate you. I was like, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Wow. Best thing, because before that time, I had never bombed, let alone got booed off stage. And bombing was horrifying. Nobody wants to bomb. Nobody, you know, when people say you do comedy, what happens if nobody laughs? I don't know. So that night was liberating because I failed so far beyond my wildest nightmares of failing that it was like, hey, they're all booing. My friends are here watching, my mom. This is not that bad. And after that, I was fearless. To get into the New York comedy circuit is a very closed circuit. And I got in all these clubs in like a week, 2 weeks. Like, that's just reputation. Have you seen this kid? Have you seen this kid? I was like that dude.
How old were you when you made your first TV development deal?
19. My mother and my grandmother were freaked out. You know, I was the first person in my family not to go to college that had not been a slave.
Right.
So I was really breaking from tradition, and it was like a graduation lunch we were having, and they had my dad come and talk to me, and my dad takes me outside, and he's like, listen, and this is some advice that applies to all you acting students. He says, to be an actor is a lonely life. Everybody wants to make it, and you might not make it. And I said to my dad, well, that depends on what making it is, Dad. He was a smart ass kid.
Yeah.
Depends on what making it is there. He says, what do you mean? I said, well, you're a teacher. I said, if I could make a teacher salary doing comedy, I think that's better than being a teacher. And he started laughing. He said, if you keep that attitude, I think you should go. He said, but name your price in the beginning. If it ever gets more expensive than the price you name, get out of there. Mm-hmm. Thus, Africa. Oh, man. Yeah, you guys are going to learn a lot tonight.
What can they learn?
You know, like, you guys are students now, so you're idealists, but you don't know about where art and corporate interests meet yet. Just prepare to have your heart broken. Like, in a way, you see him laughing, that evil laugh? Because he knows, man, and everybody laughs at me, but just get your Africa tickets ready, baby, because it's coming. It's coming. You have no idea. The first pilot I did was called I'm the Man, and it didn't get picked up. It was real painful because I had experienced nothing but success. Took it like a bitch, man. I was really upset. And that's when I started smoking that weed, man. It just made me feel better, man. I'm not trying to tell kids to do that. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't tell anybody to do it, but that's how I dealt with my problems. And at the time, it was working out great, baby. I was smoking that weed. I'm just being real, you know. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of white kids, you got things accessible to you like therapy. We don't have that. We have liquor stores and weed.
You've called The Nutty Professor one of your favorite film assignments. Why?
I just remember the first day at work, and I'm walking on the set, and this fat dude comes up like, hey, man, you're real funny. I'm like, thanks. Oh, yeah, Eddie Murphy. He had that makeup on, and he knew my jokes. He started telling obscure jokes I did, like he knew them. And every day we would do takes, man. I mean, somewhere this footage exists. And when they say cut, I mean, those extras would be cheering. I mean, it was like me and Eddie we would dance. And Eddie would drop these jewels on me, you know, when we're working. He's a real wise dude. Seen a lot of Eddie Murphy. And he was the guy that was like, you got to start writing. He was like, the way you tell jokes, you think in pictures, and you can write. You should start doing it. And that was the big Nutty Professor breakthrough.
In The Nutty Professor, Dave plays a severely manic comic named Reggie Warrington, who uses his comic skills to humiliate Eddie Murphy as the hapless Sherman Klump. A lesson for this evening: comedy can be cruel.
Yeah. Somewhere there's a black professor watching this like buffoonery. But that made me laugh saying that, because I remember when I said who was sucking whose titties land, and Eddie was like doing the Sherman, and he was drinking, and then I said it, and water shot out of his nose. And he said, I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting that. And that was the best feeling, like, to make Eddie Murphy break characters was very, to this day, man, forget the Emmy nomination, that was the best.
Who wrote Half Baked?
It was me and Neil and Purple Haze.
Tell us about that writing process. How did you guys work?
I can't remember. I was high, man. I was high. The night before we had these series of pitch meetings, we were like, man, we don't have a story. And at the time, you know, I drank a little beer, so we drank some beer. Neil doesn't smoke weed. I smoked me some weed. And suddenly, we had this weird story about killing a police horse and needing to raise money, and it was really weird the way it happened, man. But it was really inspired, Half-Baked. I liked smoking weed so much that I thought I should make a movie about this. And it was inspired, man. It was like, you know, it was inspired. When that script came out, me and Neil, we were hot as a pistol for a week. The script was way better than the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that script was dope.
Dave, who do you play in the movie?
Huh? I played Thurgood Jenkins.
Thurgood Jenkins.
Yes.
But that's only half the story. Who else do you play in the movie?
Oh, I played Sir Smoke-A-Lot.
One of my favorite scenes is the one that involves both Thurgood and Sir Smoke-A-Lot.
Very embarrassing, homie.
I think it's a remarkable piece of acting. That's why I wanted to play it.
I'm sorry, man. For me, it's a little surreal being on the actor studio and just to see you like, and then you did Half-Baked.
When Martin Lawrence was in that chair, we talked about Blue Streak.
I love that dude.
He played a role in your life, I believe. How do you feel about him as a person, as an artist?
Martin Lawrence is the guy that showed everybody you can make it from D.C. to Hollywood. And I had a personal stake in his success. Every time he did something, it made me feel inspired and really good. And he was always real nice to me. He'd sit me down, "What's going on with you, baby boy? What? We'd talk about comedy, whatever." And, you know, when we did Blue Streak, we were promoting it, and Martin had a stroke. He almost died. And then after that, I saw him, and I was like, "Oh, my God, Martin, are you okay?" And he said, "I got the best sleep I ever got in my life." That's how tough he is. So let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, "They are trying to kill me"?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take her clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick. Oh, I'm dropping dimes tonight. I've had a long year, Mr. Lipton.
We're on our way. What did you mean, Dave, when you described your father's death in 1998 as the beginning of a terrible decline?
I was 23 when I was doing Half-Baked. I was getting ready to turn 24. And I was going through all the things that a dude goes through when it goes from one level to the next. I was starring in a movie that I wrote. So things start getting crazy around you.
Yeah.
And my 24th birthday was coming on August the 24th, and I said, this is going to be a big one. And the morning that I turned 24, phone rang, and my sister was like, "Dad had a stroke." For the next year, I watched my father teeter on life and death. And it was just all this stuff, man. Like Dad was dying, the Half-Baked didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out. I was real upset about that. Because it was a real cool script, and then I saw it, I was like, "Hey, man, you made a weed movie for kids." And it wasn't for kids, the script, you know. It was all these things, so much pressure. Africa. Then I was in Ohio. I get a call on my cell phone from Hollywood. I'm like, hello, Hollywood. They're like, hello, Dave. They're like, that pilot you did for Fox, looks like they want to pick it up. We need you to come out because they want to meet with you. And I was like, well, listen, I can't really come out right now. Got a real bad situation at home. Can we talk about this on the phone? No, they would rather meet with you in person. But you know, like the horror that they turned us into, I jumped on that plane and left my father's bedside, which I regret to this day. And I went out and I sat with these people in this room. And if you can imagine a large circle of people, and I was 12 o'clock, the black dude. Yeah, Dave, we really liked the show, but the pilot episode was about me getting booed off stage at the Apollo. They go, but what are we going to do about it? I mean, there's not really any white people in it. I said, well, it's about the Apollo. It's not really white. Well, we were thinking about the girl on the show. We didn't think she was that funny, not that good looking. I think we should recast her, maybe. And they start using terms like universal appeal. Basically saying they want me to recast the girl with a white woman. I say, yeah, I don't think I can do this, and I quit. On the cover of Variety, Chappelle pulls the race card. The race card. And I get calls from Newsweek, 60 Minutes. Everybody, we want your story. Now I'm scared to death. I'm like Rosa Parks or something. I'm like, I'm not ready for this. I was just venting a little bit. And then, a few months later, Dad dies. And that's hard for a young dude in his life. That's a real tough loss. I was there when he died, and he went from being my father to what are we gonna do with the body? Within moments, it was over. And I'm going through all this stuff, and this is the guy I would usually talk to, right? Dad. Now I gotta figure this out for myself. I don't wanna figure this out for myself. I was beat down, I wasn't living right. You know what I mean? Like the weed thing was just a bad habit at this point, and you know what I mean? All these, chicken head girls you mess with when it comes with the territory. I'm just being real, Just wasn't living right, man. I didn't feel good. And the stand-up stuff was just some angry stuff. It was just like I was kind of bottoming out. But when my dad died, because I've been commuting back and forth to Ohio so much, that's when I bought the farm, which I called the you Hollywood farm.
Did you stay in Yellow Springs for a while?
I live there to this day. I live there to this day. I'm raising my kids there. Look, man, at that point in your life, it's something so real in contrast to what Hollywood is, a very powerful illusion. And when your dad died, it kind of just broke the spell, like, oh, this is bullshit. Look, I've been spending so much time doing this. What about my family? What about my friends? Wait, whatever happened to my friends? Damn, I don't even have any friends. Ugh. So I bounced, man. New Year's Eve, 1999, I moved into that farm, and that was it. As far as I was concerned, I was done with show business.
The comedians I've worked with over the years often don't laugh at jokes. Can you be amused by your own work, by other people's work?
I love my jokes.
Good.
Some jokes, like, I got this real immature streak where I write a lot of scatological humor.
So I've heard.
But a good joke will just never, they last, they hold up. I just like having fun. When I'm on stage, I get real happy up there. Like maybe that's the only time in my adult life that I feel like myself. You're standing up there, you know what I mean? Like a gladiator. And them lights is on you, and you look down, and everyone's looking up at you like. And it's just all these smiles around you, and they get dressed, and they put perfume on and stuff, and they're going to see your show. That feels good, man. These people, they love you. Even if it's for a minute, they really do. They love you, man. It's like it's a love fest.
Good feeling.
Yeah, it's the best feeling, man. I love stand-up.
In 2000, you taped a concert for HBO.
Yes.
Called Killing 'Em Softly.
Killing 'Em Softly.
To borrow a comedian's term of art, Dave killed in that concert. the setup for this is that his limo driver says he's got to stop somewhere. So he stops in the ghetto. And it's Dave in the ghetto in a limo.
Yes.
Huh?
He gets it. He gets it. That's it.
But the thing is that you do exactly what a honky would do in the ghetto. You lock the doors, right? So you have ambivalent feelings. You're drawn to it, and you're.
And I'm afraid. Listen, man. Black people don't like the ghetto.
Like you and me, you mean?
Yeah. Nobody wants to live in the ghetto. But the joke is so dope. Man,
Kevin, what you've achieved in your career is not even scratching the surface of who you are. You are very, not only deserving of this award, but people don't understand what you've done to the business. Do you know how many tickets you've sold since you started doing concerts? I called and checked. I know too. 500 million. 500 million people watch this man stand in front of him and make him laugh. Kevin is one of the greatest comedians that I've ever seen. And Kevin is one of the greatest men that I've ever known. Hello, Jerry. You bring joy to our environment. People don't know all the things that comedians go through and how difficult, how heavy it is to wear the crown. But man, I swear to God, you do it with so much grace, so much kindness. Man, I know every story of all the comedians that you help out. I know how you go back to Philadelphia and support your neighborhood. And I know that inside you feel awful sometimes, but I've never seen it on your face, and I've never felt it in your presence. And I am honored to know somebody like you. I really wish you would have come when I won this award.